The mind prefers to keep its initial judgment stable. It begins to interpret new information in ways that support the original impression, even when that information is ambiguous. Imagine meeting someone at a networking event. They seem slightly distracted during your conversation. If your first impression was positive, you might assume they are just busy or preoccupied. But if your first impression was negative, the same behavior might be interpreted as rude or uninterested. The behavior did not change. Only the lens through which you viewed it did. This effect is closely tied to something psychologists call the halo effect. When the brain forms a positive impression of one trait, it often extends that positivity to other unrelated traits. If someone appears confident, the brain may also assume they are intelligent, capable, or trustworthy, even without evidence. The opposite can also happen. A negative first impression can create a horn effect, where one unfavorable trait influences the perception of everything else about a person. This is why first impressions can be so difficult to change. Once the brain creates a narrative about someone, it starts protecting that narrative. New information is filtered, interpreted, and sometimes even distorted to fit the original story. And this process happens largely outside of conscious awareness. Consider a real-life situation. A student walks into a classroom on the first day and answers a question incorrectly. The teacher, without realizing it, forms a subtle impression that the student may not be very strong academically. Over time, the teacher might call on that student less frequently, provide less challenging material, or pay closer attention to mistakes than successes. The student, in turn, may become less confident, participate less, and perform worse. The first impression quietly shapes the outcome.